The Berlin Wall, symbol of German division and the Cold War. It surrounded West Berlin. Today, only short sections of the wall are visible in a few places, where it continues to draw tourists. Checkpoint Charlie, the most famous border crossing point of the Cold War. American and Soviet occupation forces once faced each other here. Today, history is business. Some want their picture taken at Checkpoint Charlie, others make a living providing the props. Checkpoint Charlie is entertainment with refreshments. Information and background knowledge are available as well, but they don't provide pretty backdrops for photos. On August the 13th, hardly any of these visitors realized it was the anniversary of the day construction of the wall began. Is this a special date for Berlin?
You're asking the wrong person. August 13th doesn't ring a bell with me.
But you are taking sightseeing tours.
Yes, since yesterday.
For me, history begins around 1993. Enough happened after that. It's enough for me.
It's important. I mean, it's our history. We ought to know it.
Memorial sites like the former secret police prison in Hohenschönhausen aim to offer a good vantage point for tracing history. Eyewitnesses guide visitors through tracts of cells where they themselves were interned in communist East Germany. Politicians like to take these tours, especially on days like the Berlin Wall Memorial Day. This is the right backdrop for appeals to learn from the past and to see it as palpable remembrance.
One is
impressed again and again by the repeated experience that a person's power of imagination is not sufficient to picture reality. That's why it's so important that such sites are preserved.
The communists said the Berlin Wall was protection against fascism, but it really protected them from losing their population. Locked in, many East Germans retreated into private life, which became so important that today several museums are devoted to it. Almost 500,000 people have visited Berlin's museum dedicated to East Germany. Here they learn everything about everyday life in real existing socialism as East Germany saw itself. Rickety Trabant cars and pennants, not everything was the wall and the Stasi.
Some people say learning about a dictatorship is only about the victims, not normal life and the average citizen. But I don't think you can understand a dictatorship unless you study normal life. Only if you see how life was in East Germany can you understand why this state lasted for 40 years. If you only look at the Stasi and the wall, you can't understand it.
Communist East Germany no longer exists, and 19 years after its demise, it has lost its terrors for many. In eastern Berlin, one tavern sports Stasi secret police symbols. Guests can become unofficial staff, the name given to informers and denouncers in East Germany. The owner says it's all intended as satire.
The Stasi was a secret service, and it was respected by other secret services. It worked very effectively externally. Its problem was its work internally. That wasn't such a laugh.
East Germany was a dictatorship, a state that locked its citizens in and put them under constant surveillance. And that is what ultimately led to its downfall. Now Germany has to deal with its legacy, whether seriously, commercially, or tastelessly.
Some of it is unnecessary, some of it is simply galling. But the only way to avoid such excesses would be to claim a monopoly on appropriate memory. And this claim to a monopoly must not be permitted on principle.
Only remnants of the Berlin Wall still cast their shadow in the present, while the real history behind them, it seems, is increasingly overlooked.